So I read this headline, and the first thing that came into my mind is the Kinder Surprise chocolate egg. Something that was a big part of my childhood and can no longer be purchased in Bahrain. And yeah, why? Because of child safety. It's a chocolate egg with a toy inside. So if you buy a chocolate egg for a child, not knowing that there's a toy inside, maybe they would swallow the toy and then, catastrophe. And what does that have to do with technology? Well, this is the headline. Australian regulator says Apple's Airtag batteries are too easy to access for kids. And here is the same problem with this very controversial, it seems, device by Apple, Airtags. It's very difficult to dissect this because when you see like Kinder Surprise again, it is banned in Bahrain. It was not banned before, and it is banned in America, but it's not banned in the UK. And in this case, there is no ban. The Australian Competition and Consumer Commission, CCC, they have warned buyers to keep the AirTags away from children because it's easy to remove the cap and then get access to the battery because of the tiny nature of everything. And the way of logic here is that the battery compartment is easily accessible. You can open it very quickly, and it sometimes does not stay securely closed when you close it. And sometimes, apparently, it makes the sound that says that the lid has been closed when it's not closed. And in the beginning, Australian retailers, they actually have stopped selling these devices. But then Apple have added a safety warning saying that these AirTags are designed to meet international standard safety, blah, 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 blah. And one thing I was wondering is why couldn't they add, the SIM tool thing to the AirTags? Because that's what other devices have compared to Apple's. And we have them around anyway because most of our iPhones, most of our phones use some kind of ejector tool to remove the SIM card. So why not this device as well? I thought maybe it's a little bit strange banning this specific thing. There are many small devices out there, and it should be the parents' responsibility to think what is safe to be around children and what is not. But it's the same thing with the toy. But with the toy, it's a bit, the toy inside the Kinder Surprise chocolate is a bit different because, that's a food item that, is supposed to be put inside a child's mouth. And if they find this thing inside, they open it and they think it's food again. This is something way more serious. And of course, we have to say that is banned. This is just a warning. But when asked, are you going to look at other devices? The commission said, yes, we'll look at other devices that are similar to AirTags and if they pose a big threat. Keep in mind, Apple are receiving extra attention. Why? Because they are a company that makes hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of these devices. And because it's a very famous brand, it deserves to be under the microscope for every single decision they make because they make ridiculous amounts of money and they have that responsibility when designing their products. Thing number 2, this is a small device, the AirTag, but I was scrolling through Twitter and I saw this tweet. Can someone explain to me how Texas Instruments can get by still charging a fortune for graphing calculator when you can get most of the functionality on your phone? This is not 1992 anymore. It's not a very viral tweet. It has 100 retweets, 1,400 likes. But how did that? Because let me flash back to when I was in high school, which was not 5 years ago, 6 years ago. We were asked to buy these calculators, and this thing has 142.99. I'm gonna assume this is dollars, but when I bought mine, it was maybe this price. I don't even remember. It was definitely around 70 dinar, which is around $200 US, which is crazy expensive for something that looks so old. And how is this still being asked for students to buy, and are they still this price? Because wow, around $150 can get you a smartphone, can get you a laptop even. Why is this thing still very, very expensive for a calculator to just draw graphs? I mean, it is intelligent, yeah, and it is allowed in exams. Is that enough for it to be worth this much? Especially with this realization is people during exams can use technology. That's fine. So why don't you just, someone looks at this technology and think, oh, I'll replace it with something that costs a fraction of the price. Yeah, that's strange. Another strange tweet is this tweet. Things that will always annoy me now. The Apple and Apple's profile picture is not centered. That's a Twitter thing. And when I opened Apple's Twitter account, which has 0 following, which I don't know what that means, it is actually not centered and it's pissing me off. And now I hope it pisses some of you off. And one last thing I want to talk about is how I said Windows 11 is very tricky to roll out to everyone, because Windows is on so many different devices with so many different specifications, different processors, different heating systems, different cooling systems, not heating systems, different configurations. And iOS 15, the new iOS release, will support the iPhone 6S, the oldest device that is supported, is 6-year-old, which is insane, but it shows you how when a company is fully in control of their devices, they can actually pull stuff like this off. Support for software that lasts long, very, very long time. And Windows 11 is tricky because they have to decide which computers are, suitable to run this software and which is not, when you have so many manufacturers making devices that run this software. And one last thing is iPhone rumors. And I saw this tweet by Sam Cole. It says, remember when this was supposed to be the iPhone 6? And a picture of a phone that that is something that reminded me of when I first looked at the iPhone. I thought, at that time, the iPhone that was released is the iPhone 4, and the rumor device was the iPhone 4S. And there was a weird video, maybe I can find it, that has a hologram keyboard thing. And I thought, really, the iPhone 5 is, iPhone 4S at that time, rumored to be iPhone 5, is going to be that. And expectations versus reality. Normally, when technology hits, it's incremental changes. And when these big changes happen, everyone will talk about them. But it's good to imagine, but also to level your standard of expectations. See you next week.